The flashing lights appeared first, red against my parents' brick driveway, blue against the dining room windows where we had just finished dessert. My daughter, Leela, was still holding a paper napkin in her hands when the knock came. It should have been nothing more than a simple family dinner. My sister Claire had hosted. Her house was always spotless, arranged in a way that made everything feel like a display. She was a child psychologist, public speaker, frequent guest on local panels about responsible parenting. That night, her son accused Leela of taking his smartwatch. 10 years old. 10. Leela denied it right away, confused more than defensive. Claire didn't argue. She picked up her phone and stepped into the hallway. I remember thinking she was calling her husband. She was calling the police. When the officers came in, their posture was procedural, not hostile. Claire explained that her son's watch was missing and that Leela had been seen near his backpack. She added carefully that Leela had a history of impulsive behavior. It was the first I had heard of that history. I looked at my parents. My mother pressed her lips together. My father folded his arms. No one interrupted. One officer crouched in front of Leela and asked gentle questions. She answered between breaths. The watch wasn't in her pockets, not in her small purse, but when they searched the coat rack, they found it tucked into the hood of Leela's jacket. The room changed instantly. I knew my daughter's face. I knew the way her eyebrows pulled together when she was scared versus guilty. She was terrified. "I didn't put it there," she said, quiet and clear. The officer sighed, the kind of sigh adults use when they believe they're hearing denial. Claire's voice stayed calm. "I don't want to press charges, but I do want this documented." Documented. The word hung there like something official and permanent. Because Claire insisted on procedure, because she spoke the language of institutions so easily, the officers followed through. They placed Leela's hands behind her back. Not roughly, just mechanically. The metal clicked. My 10-year-old daughter stood in handcuffs in my sister's foyer. I heard myself say her name, but my voice sounded far away. My parents stood beside the staircase. They did nothing. At the station, things unraveled quickly. Security cameras in Claire's home were normal. She often mentioned them during talks about safety. I asked the officers to review the footage before filing anything official. The watch had been in her son's hand 20 minutes before the accusation. The footage showed him slipping it into Leela's jacket hood while she was in the bathroom. A childish attempt at revenge for losing a board game. The officers removed the cuffs immediately. The report was corrected. They apologized, quietly, professionally. Claire did not. She said her son must have panicked. I expected shame to fix this. Instead, my parents called the next morning. "You're blowing this out of proportion," my father said. My mother added, "It was handled." My daughter had been photographed, fingerprinted, processed, even briefly. Handled. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten. I requested copies, incident reports, the home security recording. Then I scheduled consultations. Claire's license required ethical conduct, especially in matters involving minors. Filing a report with a behavioral history she invented wasn't a small detail. My parents served on 2 nonprofit boards tied to child advocacy and community mediation. Their silence and later public minimization became part of the documented sequence. I submitted formal complaints, attached evidence and timeline. No exaggeration, just facts. The investigations took months. During that time, the family story shifted. I was vindicated, reckless, damaging reputations. Leela asked once while we were folding laundry, "Are we in trouble?" "No," I said. Claire was placed on administrative leave first. The licensing board cited conduct inconsistent with professional standards and misrepresentation to law enforcement. My parents resigned from their board positions weeks later, officially for personal reasons, unofficially because donors had questions. The community that once praised them grew cautious. Careers didn't collapse overnight. They eroded slowly, publicly, without spectacle. Claire sent one email. "You've made your point." That was all. Leela doesn't remember every detail now. Trauma softens with time and therapy, but she remembers the sound of the cuffs. I remember the stillness of my parents on that staircase. What I did next wasn't about destruction, it was about record. For years, our family survived by closing ranks, protecting appearances, and reframing harm as misunderstanding. That night, I chose documentation over silence. It cost me my sister. It cost my parents their reputations. It cost us holidays. I don't celebrate that, but when Leela asks why I didn't just let it go, I tell her this. Because sometimes adults use authority carelessly, and sometimes the only way to stop it is to let other authorities see it clearly. The house is quieter now, fewer gatherings, fewer calls, but when I tuck her in, her hands are free, and that matters more than anyone's career ever did.